Hello. Today we are going to talk about arithmetic sequences and how to generate the nth term formula. For the session today you will need writing equipment, book to write in, smartphone, tablet, PC or laptop. If you have any questions during the session, then please make a note of them and use the link on the description to contact us. Our target today is to improve your arithmetic progression knowledge. Okay, so arithmetic sequences. So mathematicians like to use big impressive words to make themselves sound more intelligent. Arithmetic in this context basically means a sequence with a common difference. For instance, even numbers always have a common difference between them. So therefore, an example of even numbers would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and the common difference is plus 2. Okay, so find the next two terms in the following arithmetic sequences. Okay, so very straightforward. You work out what the common difference is, and then you just work out the next two terms. Okay, so just pause the video while you're having a go at that. Okay, so solutions and working out. So for question 1, the sequence is going up in plus 4s each time, so the next two steps will be 23 and 27. Question 2, the sequence is going up in plus 12s, so therefore the next two terms will be 68 and 80. And question 3, we're going to skip question 3 and go straight to question 4. So question 4, the sequence is going down in minus 7 each step, so the next two terms will be minus 34 and minus 41. Okay, so well done if you managed to get those three right. Question 5, so we're going to now start to have a look at how to generate the nth term. And the nth term is basically so you can work out any term in the sequence. So for instance, the 1.5 million term in the sequence. Okay, so find the nth term of the following sequence. So n in this context means it's like the first term, second term, fourth term, etc. in the sequence. So step 1, we work out the difference in the sequence. So this one here I've chosen is the even numbers, so the difference is it's going up by plus 2 each time. Step 2, we always put an n after the difference, in this case plus 2, so it becomes plus 2n. Step 3, now we substitute n equals 1 into 2n. So 2n is a nice way of writing 2 times n. So 2 times 1, and that should give us our first term. 2 times 1 is 2, and if we're after our third term we would substitute n equals 3 into 2n. So it would be 2 times 3, which is 6. And as you can see, the first term is 2, the second term is 4, and the third term is 6, which match. So therefore the nth term is 2n. Okay, so let's move on to your turn now. So just two quite easy ones. So if you just pause the video and have a go at generating the nth term for the following. So just follow the steps. So step 1 is find the difference. Step 2 is put an n after the difference, and then step 3 is you substitute 1 in for the n, or n equals 1, so therefore 4 times 1 is 4. Okay, so pause the video and have a go at those two. Hint, the answer to question 1 is not n add 4, because n add 4, n if we were choosing our first term in the sequence, it would be 1 plus 4 equals 5, which is not the same as 4, or the first term in the sequence. Okay, so just pause the video and have a go. Okay, so solutions. So in order to work out the nth term, what we've always got to do is we find the difference, which in this case is plus 4. Okay, and it's plus 4 because the difference between 4 and 8 is plus 4. The difference between 8 and 12 is plus 4, etc., etc. So put an n after the difference, so it becomes 4n. Step 3, and we substitute n equals 1 into the formula. So n equals 1. And basically what that means is the first term, so here we're going to say n, the first term, second term, third term. So the first term is 4, the second term is 8, and the third term is 12. Okay, so n in this context just means the first term. So 4 times 1 becomes 4, and that is the same as the first term in the sequence, and the first term in the sequence is 4. So therefore the nth term is 4n. Well done if you managed to get that correct. And let's move on to question 2. Now question 2 was 7, 14, 21 and 28. So I'm just going to work through this one. So basically for question 2, so we find the difference, which is plus 7. Step 2, we put an n after the difference, which is 7n, and then we choose n equals 1, and we substitute n equals 1 into 7n. So what that becomes is 7 times 1, which is 7. So therefore that is the same as the first term in the sequence, so therefore the general formula is, or the nth term formula is, for question 2, 7n. Well done if you got that one correct, and let's move on. So this is the trickier nth term formulas. So example, find the nth term for the following arithmetic progression. So what we've got here is 2, 9, 16, 23 and 30. So step 1 is we work out the difference, and that is plus 7. And it's a common difference because it's all plus 7. Step 2, we put an n after the difference, so that becomes 7n. Next we choose n for the first term, and the first term should be 7, so let's just have a look. So we choose our 7n, and then we do 7 times 1, which is our first term, n equals 1. I'll just write that down. Okay, so n equals 1, and that is 7. Now 7 is not the same as the first term in the sequence. The first term in the sequence is 2, so we've got to get from that 7 to 2 by either adding or subtracting, and of course we have to subtract 5 to get to the first number in the sequence, which is 2. Okay, so the nth term is 7n take away 5, and what we're going to do here is just a quick test. So we're going to choose, say, the third term in the sequence. So using our formula, 7n take away 5, we say 7 times 3 take away 5. 7 times 3 is 21. 21 take away 5 is 16. Okay, so let's just check that against that's our first term, second term, third term, and sure enough it's 16. Okay, so it's now your turn to have a go at some questions, and what I want you to do is to pause the video and have a go at finding the nth term for the following sequences. Okay, so question 1. We find the difference, and the difference in this case is plus 3. Step 2, we put an n after the difference, so that becomes 3n. Next, we work out 3n for when n equals 1. So it becomes 3 times 1, which is 3. And that is not the same as the first term in the sequence. And the first term in the sequence is 8. So what do we have to add or subtract to this 3 to get up to 8? And the answer is 5. So therefore the nth term is 3n add 5. And if we just have a look at, say, the fourth term, so that is when n equals 4, and this would give us our fourth term. So it becomes 3 times 4 plus 5. So 3 times 4 is 12. 12 add 5 is 17. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's 17. Okay, so well done if you got that one correct. Next one, and this is 10, 17, 24, 31. So we find the difference again, which is plus 7. Then we put an n after the difference, which is 7n. And that's just a general rule, that's the method for working out the nth term. Okay, so step 3, we choose n equals 1 and substitute it into 7n. So 7 times 1 is 7, and that is not the same as the first term in the sequence. So we've got to try and get from 7, which is this 7, up to the first term in the sequence, which is plus 3. So therefore our term is, nth term is 7n plus 3. Last one, and this one here had a negative in, so we've got minus 3, 1, 5, 9, 13. So we find the difference, which is plus 4, and that's minus 3 add 4 is 1, 1 add 4 is 5, etc. Then we put an n after the difference, so that becomes 4n. Next we choose n equals 1 and substitute it in, so 4 times 1 is 4, and that is not the same as the first term in the sequence, which is negative 3. So what do we have to add or subtract from this 4 to get to negative 3? And we've got to subtract 7 to get to negative 3. So the nth term is 4n minus 7. Okay, so well done if you managed to get all of those correct. And we've completed some arithmetic sequence questions today. Point to remember, always show all stages of your working out in exams, and if you've got any questions regarding any of the topics covered today or any maths, please do not hesitate to contact me. We are more than happy to explain. Okay, so I look forward to seeing you in our next session. Thank you.